guys, thanks for joining me again for another How to Draw Stuff with me, Calvin Ellis. Okay, for today's lesson I'm going to show you how to draw movement lines. So these are those little finishing touches that you can add to your drawings to make it look like things are moving. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to start off with a ball. Just a really simple shape there, got a few little details on. And we want to make this move. So at the moment this ball is just kind of sat there. So to make it move, we need some action lines, okay? To kind of show where the ball has been. Now, the way you want to draw these is kind of quite quick. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and then following this curve, going backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you'll notice that those are getting slightly smaller as they go backwards. Now, whenever you're drawing movement lines, try and keep the lines quite quick, because what happens if you don't, if you take your time and draw them too neat, I mean, it still kind of works, but it just doesn't quite have the same effect. It just looks a little bit too rigid, whereas these really fast movement lines just brings things to life a little bit more. Now, when you're drawing these movement lines, you can do some quite interesting things. So, there's our ball. Now, we want this ball to be coming from further back, coming forwards. So if we pick a point where we want this to start from, and start all of your movement lines from there, again, draw these curves going back, smaller as they go back, then all of a sudden you have a ball that is starting off in the distance and coming towards the camera or towards the front of the picture. So if you're doing an action shot, if you've got somebody kicking this ball from back here, you can have the ball coming forwards. You can also do a couple of other things. So let's draw another very simple ball in there. Now this time I want this ball to bounce. So we're going back. So this is the point on the ground it would bounce. Back again, and here, back again, and here. Now we just keep going with those. And then doing exactly the same thing, doing these movement lines, going backwards. The only other thing we need to do here is actually put a couple of little marks on where the ball hits the ground to show the impact. And then all of a sudden you have this ball that is bouncing along the ground, and you can see those impact marks there as well. You can use the same sort of idea with pretty much anything. So if we draw, here we go. Let's draw a hammer or a mallet. Here we go. Now at the moment that mallet is just kind of sat there, it's not really doing anything. But we can really bring this drawing to life by adding in those quick, sketchy movement lines. Now all of a sudden this hammer is being swung. But that's not quite enough. So where it's making impact, you can put some lines in there. Now as the hammer's hitting the floor, there's going to be kind of a vibration there as well. So let's just add a couple of extra bits. And there we go. Then all of a sudden this very still mallet has come to life. It's being swung. You can see the impact lines on the floor, and you can see the vibration going through the object as well. Now there's a couple of different things you can do when you're drawing these movement lines as well. If you want to make things look even faster, you kind of do more movement lines, okay? So let's keep them nice and quick still. Nice and sketchy. And all of a sudden you have this ball that is moving really, really fast. Now if you want to move a little slower, obviously leave a few less. The faster it goes, the more of these sketchy movement lines you have in. Now you can use this to bring all sorts of stuff to life. So if you have a character that you've drawn, let's have a look. Let's make this guy just down here. Put the feet in there. And a couple of hands. It's a really simple little character. And at the moment he's just kind of stood there. But if we want him to be kind of moving pretty quick, have those sketchy movement lines coming on. And again, you can use these same sort of couple of quick little lines here and there to show that he's moving. And you can use this through all sorts of stuff. So if I quickly go over to this drawing here, this is a little drawing I put together earlier on. Now this guy looks like he's running, so there's a couple of things that make him look like he's running. Obviously with the positioning of his arms and his legs, he's got an arch to his back, and the hair is brushing backwards there. But there's still a little bit of sort of movement missing from this. We can bring the drawing to life a little bit more by adding in some more movement lines. So first off, we need these lines going back. Keep it nice and rough. Again, these curved little lines. There you go. All of a sudden this guy looks like he's moving forward. But the thing is, his arms and his legs, no, they're clearly moving, but we don't have any movement lines on those yet. So let's just throw a few in. So he's really sort of pumping those arms and legs. So a couple of these little lines in will show that they are moving. And you might also want to draw in a few little beads of sweat. All of these are kind of flowing backwards, the same as the movement lines. So remember, the key is drawing those movement lines quite quickly. Okay, if you do them too neat, too carefully, it's not really going to work. You want it nice and sketchy, and that's going to make your objects look like they're moving a little bit more realistically. Okay, so here's another little scene I've put together. So 2 boxes, and you can already see there's a little bit of movement going on in here, but we can bring this to life by adding a few extra movement lines. So first off, we've got this guy who's clearly in a bad way, been knocked into the air by this guy, but there's a lot of movement going on in here. So first off, let's have a few little lines kind of bringing him off the floor, just like that. A couple more up here as well. Now, his head is flying backwards, sort of where he's been hit. So we also want a few little movement lines there as well. This arm is obviously kind of going up and hitting him. So let's have a few on there too. His arm's probably swinging back. These arms swinging back here. A couple around the head where it's wobbling. So all of a sudden you're starting to get a lot of movement in here. You can see he's sort of twisting here. So let's do some curved lines there. Going back, you can see he's twisting his leg round. This sort of glove is moving back a little bit here. You can even get a little bit of wobble on the bellies there. A little bit of movement on the feet. And you can add in an extra few kind of beads of sweat flying off there. And there we go. All of a sudden, this scene has kind of come to life a little bit more. So you've got all these extra little elements in there to make the arms move, to make the bodies move, to make these fighters look like they're actually moving. Okay, and that's it. So the trick is with movement lines is to keep them nice and quick. You don't want them too neat, otherwise it's just going to look a little bit weird. The other thing to bear in mind is not to do too many. but spot any areas in your drawing where you think movement might be going on. So if you've got kind of a big sweeping movement, use big sweeping movement lines and those curved lines going backwards. If you've got just a little bit of vibration, a little bit of wobble, just a couple of little movement lines, it'll really bring your drawings to life. Have fun with this one. Remember, just experiment. This is a case of practicing as much as you can, and you'll start to see your drawings sort of come together a little bit better. As ever, thank you for following. Remember to like and subscribe to keep up with my latest videos, and I will see you all again next time.